Here we are, we're looking at a Focus RS. I believe it's a 2017, and this is that metallic blue that I really like. This is how it comes from the factory. I think it just has tinted windows and taillights, but other than that, it's completely as it came. You can see it has the blue Brembo brakes, just a good looking car, and those match the paint. I don't know if it catches the metallic here or not, but it's just a beautiful metallic color. Let's walk around. This has the Michelin, had 2 tire packages when new. These are the OEM tires. This is a Michelin Pilot Super Sport, so these you could actually drive on the highway a little bit. Definitely some low profile tires. I like how they painted the calipers, the rear calipers and the fronts from the factory. And you know, this car is all-wheel drive, an inline 4 turbo, putting out over 300 horsepower. That's just factory. It has the active exhaust. And one thing that's cool about this is a factory hatchback. I mean, it's, you know, sometimes they call it a hot hatch car, and it just handles so well. Suspension is definitely firm for handling. Let's go inside and just look inside the interior. Interior's perfect. You see it says RS there. And it comes with the Recaro seats, which is really neat. I like the blue stitching. I like, in this case, the color of the car matches the calipers and the blue stitching inside. It looks nice as an accent. So there's more blue stitching. You can see it's a 6-speed, and I have to admit it shifts really, really nice. You have your different drive modes there. This has heated seats and heated steering wheel. I like the dash. It has these little, gives you a temperature gauge there, and I know it's hard to say, but it gives you your boost in the middle and your oil pressure on the end. A little bit of a touch screen there, and some more gauges, tack, fuel, engine temperature, and speed, all things you'd want to know. And there's a digital dash that'll light up. The pedals, you can tell this car is made to drive. It has some cool little pedals with some traction areas. A manual e-brake. And pretty spacious car overall. And you can see the RS embossing on the passenger seat. And they're comfortable seats. I like them. And then you go to the back seats here. Very nice as well. Just everything's perfect. This car is in really nice shape. More blue accents here. And you could haul 3 people back here. This has Husky liners all the way around to protect it. And I like the charcoal black interior. And let's go, I like the spoiler. It's kind of cool. And one thing about a hatchback like this is it's, you know, easy to live with on a daily basis, because I mean, you got all the space back here, and it has this little privacy cover. And you can see there's a window defroster up there. Has some handles to bring the hatch up and down. You got some room for some golf clubs and groceries. And this is removable, this little privacy cover. Okay, well, let's take this awesome car. Let's take it for a drive. So here we are looking in the engine bay. Very, very well done. You can see Ford Performance boldly presented there. Comes from the factory with a cold air intake, which is nice. I'm sure it helps boost that performance a little bit. Yeah, the air filter is nice and clean, so that's good. In the engine bay, looks perfect. I don't see any oil leaks or anything. Those inline 4s, it's amazing. They put out as much power as a V8 when you add a turbo. We're going to do a cold start here. Here we go. Actually, it's not completely cold because we did move it over here, but sounds good. You can hear it kind of growling. So this has an inline 4 that they still put in the Mustangs today. So this is a tried and true motor. They had some early recalls with the head gaskets. Something, I don't know, like the wrong head gaskets were installed, but those were fixed under recall. This one never leaked, but it was fixed under recall. But this is, my opinion, a very reliable inline 4. Inline 4 by nature is a very balanced motor. And this car just handles really, really well. It just handles really good. Corners well. With this all-wheel drive, it's hard to find something that can do sharp corners. Honestly, better than this Focus RS. It is suspended. The suspension is set up for corners, so it is a very firm ride. Tolerable, but firm. The Recaro seats grip you nicely. Hold you firmly on the side. There's a lot of side bolstering, so it feels very good. I like it. Some people say they're too tight, but I kind of have a wide torso, and I don't mind them. But this car just very, very torquey. That inline 4, you don't have to rev this motor out to make power. You can just hear it just revs, and I'm being thrown back in my seat right now. Even comparing this to some of my other cars with V8s, and this thing is very, very torquey right off with that turbo right off the bottom end. And it's just a nice car, and it shifts nice too. I've always liked the gearbox. Oh man, it's torquey. But there's a bump. Brakes are good, and it just sticks in the corner. You can just hear that inline 4 pulls you out of the corner. And this is nitrous blue. That's the color that this is. It has a metallic to it, but it's nitrous blue for this 2017 Ford Focus RS. And it's just nice to shift, and when you get through the corner and corner opens up, it just surges right out. It's such a fun car. And the brakes are with those Brembo brakes, you got plenty of brakes. We've never run into a situation where we didn't have enough brakes or anything like that. It just blasts out of the corner. One thing that's interesting about this car is it really checks all the boxes for if you want a car to do autocross with or something, but you still want to daily drive it. I mean, it's really a neat car. I mean, it checks a lot of boxes. You can haul 5 people. It's a hatchback, yet it still performs so well. So I mean, that's just something to consider with this car. There's very few cars that perform like this that you can daily drive and all-wheel drive. And we've had this in rain and inclement weather, and it did really, really well. So a lot of cars with this kind of cornering performance, it would be something that you probably wouldn't daily drive. So with the Ford Focus RS, it's unique in that aspect. Maybe some of you can talk to me about why they quit making the Focus RS. Seemed like they were hard to get a hold of, but let me know what you think. I never was quite clear why they quit making them. They seem to sell okay, but they were hard to get a hold of. We had to test drive this one by going to the GT350 Track Attack, and Dave Parasek was able to get us in one to drive there, and that's how we ended up with this. So maybe that was the issue, was being able to produce enough. I just don't know, but yeah, leave in the comments what you think, why that is, why they quit making them. I like how when you get in, it says RS, kind of special, badging, if you will. And then when you start it, it says RS, and then it has like, it just goes to the regular screen, but it can also say Ford Performance. So here's the dash. Have a little light there telling me it needs the oil change, because it's just been a year and it hasn't been driven, so we'll get that done. But, you know, pretty basic dash, but I like it. I like tachometer, speedometer, fuel, heat, and then up here you have, my opinion, you know, a really nice detailed temperature gauge for the engine. Your boost is in the middle, and then you have your oil pressure there on the far side. So great. And what I remember about this car is it just shifts so, oh man, it's just good. Nice tight indexing. I mean, there's first, second, you know, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. Just snaps to the middle. Very, very, very tight indexing. So love that shifter. Super nice. I am just driving the Focus RS, and the gearbox is so tight. I really like how it shifts. It's just one of the better gearboxes that I've felt, and just so nice to roll through the gear. Oh, there's that pop, pop, pop. I do have this in sport mode, and so we haven't modified this car or anything. It's just how it comes to the factory. Nobody behind us. I'm just doing a little drag strip, not full throttle or anything. Whoa, I felt that boost kick in. Pop, pop, pop. Oh man, lots of torque out of this motor, and very, very impressive. I just think this car is a lot of fun to drive, and especially how it corners and the torque it produces and the traction it gets. We've driven this car in inclement weather, like I mentioned before, snow, slush, that kind of thing, and it just handled like a champ. I remember one time this Toyota pickup, and I like Toyota, I'm not dissing on Toyota at all because I have Toyotas, but he was riding my tail, and we came to a spot where, and I was behind traffic, you know, so I couldn't like accelerate. Well, there's a place where I could open the car up and, you know, get in a dual passing area where it was safe, and I just remember he was riding my tail, and I just eased down on that pedal, and it was kind of wet, and with this all-wheel drive it just took off, and it was such a torquey motor, and we were going uphill, so it was uphill, and I'm sure he was wondering, what? I just got outpulled by a Focus RS, and it was kind of, that's what's kind of fun about this car. No one would expect if you didn't know cars a little bit, you would never expect a Focus RS to pull like a, you know, like it does. And but it was a lot of fun to just use some of the power, and you know, there's times when you need a little pull, and that was one of those times I needed it. So just a fun car. And this car, it just shifts, and you can brake and pull out of a corner. I mean, and it has a lot of torque. It's not a, you know, overly big car, so, you know, 300 and some horsepower. It's plenty more power than I would ever need. So just a lot of fun. It is a firm ride, but it's not harsh. But this isn't a Cadillac. This is made to corner. So that's something just to be aware of. It has lower profile tires. I don't know what they are off the top of my head, but you could tell by when the walkaround they're low profile tires meant to corner and handle, not high sidewalls to you know, absorb pressure. But this engine, it's torquey, and I do love, see when you give it gas, you let off and it goes pop, 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 pop. I hope that comes through. I'm also in sport mode. You toggle here with this drive mode button, and I can move between the different modes: sport, track, drift, normal, and then back to sport. So I'm putting it in sport mode today. I'm not at a track, but sport mode gives you a few extra pops and works well. So, and it changes the steering and the fuel mapping a little bit when you change those things. So it's not just a matter of something different showing up on your screen. It really is changing things to where everything's a little more sensitive. The steering, the throttle, all of it. So that's pretty cool that with the push of a button, you're getting a different steering response and a different exhaust response. There's electronic baffles in the back that active baffles that can open and close. And so it's cool that you can do all that, and it just comes that way from the factory. Nothing's modded to do that. So you can get on the gas and oh, it just sticks like glue. And the brakes are good. I haven't felt them fade ever or do anything like that. They just... So here's a corner. See what this feels like. Come up to it. Brake. Off brakes here. Going through this. As this unwinds, we're going to get back on the gas. And it just pulls. So fun car to drive. And it's hard to believe you could carry 3 more people in the back, and as well as some groceries. One thing I will say is that with the turbos, this motor doesn't need to be revved out. It has a lot of grunt down low. When I say down low, 5,000 RPM. The red line's 6,500, and you don't need to rev that above this. You just don't need to. So, lots of fun. I still remember Ken Block, bless him and his family, may he rest in peace, drifting the Focus RS. This is where this car shines, in a corner. It's hard not to just want to come out of this corner and go, it just shoots out like a little rocket ship. That's what this car is made for. Tight turns. But I still remember Ken Block driving this car, drifting it, and doing amazing things. That guy, shout out to him. What an amazing guy. We all feel his loss. I mean, his family's loss and the loss of him. And anyway, I remember him doing things with the Focus RS that it didn't even seem possible. Whoa, we got some debris in the road. That's why you never drive with it 9/10 or 10/10 of a car's ability. Leave a little out there so that you can save it or avoid an obstacle. But anyway, Focus RS, great car, love it. I guess in summary, shifts well, great power, awesome pops when you get off the gas. Not obnoxious though. Steers well, handles well, stiff suspension, but not overly firm when you consider what the purpose of the car is. But just realize it has that. All-wheel drive, can still haul groceries in a family. Can still autocross. This has this beautiful nitrous blue paint, and just a neat car. So, is it a fancy car? No. Is the interior adequate? Yes, to me it is. But if you're wanting something fancy, this may not be it. But I like it. Everything in here is nice. I don't dislike it. There's nothing in here that would. I like the interior, but I just need functional. I don't need necessarily fancy. But anyway, there you have it. I won't keep talking about it. And this car has been trouble-free. It hasn't had any issues. Granted, it doesn't have a lot of miles on it. It's got 10,000 miles on it, so I guess we wouldn't expect it to have issues. But anyway, there you have it. Ford Focus RS. Hope this was fun. Thanks for going along for the ride, and hope you're all doing well. Thanks for watching.